All right, we're going to see if this works. I'm going to be taking a look at Payload version 4, which I think is here. I have not actually, I just cloned this repo, so we're going to see if this actually works as it should. Yeah, version 4. Yeah, I just decided I wanted to do this and cloned the repo, and now we're going to hope for the best. So it looks like I installed node modules. Can I go down to my version workspace? Yep, so that should be right. Let's take a look. So what I'm doing today, I had to, excuse me, I just had to restart WebStorm a second ago to make sure that this would actually work and my computer wouldn't explode. So I just cloned the payload's main branch to take a look at what is going on under the hood. So version 4 is currently it's not even in beta, it's like before alpha. So Payload team is working hard on it now. There's been a bunch of movement in the repo for this, so I wanted to take a look and see how things are going, because I don't really know what to expect yet. So I'm going to take a look. Let's hope this works. We're going to have some help from my friend Claude, I'm sure. All right, what do we have here? Let's try running pnpmi again. All right, so I'm in Payload. All right, so I need to find a way to, well, if I go to, we're just looking around. That's all we're doing. So if we have blank here, package. All right, so let's try that. We're gonna go to the blank template. So cd templates, blank. All right. So this is brand new, and I have never used like the actual Payload repo beyond just like seeing templates and stuff. I want to get a local host instance of Payload version 4 working using this repo. Can you help me out? So we're going to let Claude work on that a little bit. I'm going to do some exploring because I want to look and see here in our config. The thing I'm most excited about that I really want to look into is not the MCP plugin, though. That's cool. We've done that before, though. I want to look at the adapter pattern that they might have for TAN-stack starts. I'm going to take a look at that first. What do you want running locally? Standalone built-in test config. Yeah, this I don't really plan on contributing, but I do want to be able to take a look at what's going on in here. So yeah, bump to 24. It doesn't matter. Just bump it up to 24. So let's see what happens. And I wonder if I can look now. 1 second here. If I should just be able to go payload CMS, perfect. This isn't even actually where I want to go. GitHub is where I wanted to be. Payload. All right, so we look and we see main. A bunch of fixes, some tags for beta. I want to look at templates, Vercel website. Just digging around a little bit. We got our blank template here. You can go to source app. Payload is not where I want to go. Right here's where I want to go. All right, so we get the build config. That's what I want to start looking at here from Payload. So let's go Payload. And then we should have, not Payload DB, I don't care about that. I don't see like an index or anything. Scripts, templates, public, maybe? No. All right. Back here. App. Where am I? All right, so Payload. I got lost so easy there. We got our app. Yeah, no, that's right. Nope. Because there's no Payload config or anything here, because that wouldn't make sense. All right. None of your installed node binaries. Okay, so we're still going to try it on 23 then. Or, you know what? Why not? No, I don't want to do that. I'll do it. All right. So building out just, well, I'm having Claude help me with this. Just get a local instance of Payload running. And I'm just digging through. This is the version 4 docs, or not docs, but the version 4 tag. So that's in main right now. I'm just digging through, seeing what's in here. Because we've got our app. I want to look at our templates. Go to Payload. Layout, okay. I wonder if there's anything in docs right now. Docs. Plugins. Doesn't seem like it. Migration guide. Oh, that's gonna come in handy. Let's take a look at this. So again, this is before beta. This is like very early alpha. So is this done? So I don't think these docs are going to still like hold true, but we'll see. So let's take a look at what we got here. So they're coming out with a code mod. That's great. All breaking changes are listed below. Versions by default. I do think I like that because a lot of times what happens is when you initialize versions, and especially when you get to drafts, your collection disappears, so all of your documents just go away, and that's because they haven't been given a draft. So versions gets you there a little bit easier, and you have to opt out of versions that have existing, or for your existing collections or globals before you upgrade. You want to switch your versions to false for anything you don't want actual versions for. Yep, code mod. List view select API is now the default. Oh, this is going to be hold on. So this looks like it's going to be a big lift here. But list view select API is now the default. List view now always uses the select API to query. Oh, okay. So if you want to get more active columns, you have to opt into it now. So now for your globals, and so globals now, instead of having like the components being nested in elements, they go straight to edit. There's description there as well. So edit, then in the save button, that makes sense. So yeah, that's just good cleanup there. I like that. The available slots under, okay. So it's going to match collections. Views marrying collections, perfect. So globals are really just starting to match what collections have been doing. So it just makes it for a more consistent experience when developing. So that's very good. What is this doing? Still trying to get that project up and running. Force select removed in favor of select. I don't think I've ever used force select. But if you're using force select, you're going to have to remove it for version 4. And there's probably going to be a lot more than there is here. Oh boy. The admin hide API URL. Okay, so this is interesting, but I think it's valuable still. So instead of just setting hide API URL to true or false, it's going to be a function now. So that's good for when you want to, I assume, want to use something like access control for people who can see the API output, the JSON output that comes from that. But right now, like, this is just showing as a function. I imagine it's going to take some arguments, but I can't be certain based on this. My guess is it's going to take some arguments. Then transform, remove, hide API URL. Nope. Alias types re-exported from UI and next. So I think some things are just getting lifted out of next. And this is going to enable some more compatibility here. So things that we would be able to use with TanStack and Next would be able to be lifted out. Anything in here that is interesting? Merge headers is probably the biggest one. Sanitize locales, of course. We've got some renamed types. This is still going. Next navigation and next link replaced by perfect router adapter hooks. So again, trying to get back to a framework agnostic view of things. So they went hard into Next.js for version 3, which makes sense, but that has always been kind of the first adapter. It was just easier for where they were going. But now it seems like the ability to have other frameworks is going to be extremely helpful. Link props, link adapter props. So Payload is now defining some things instead of having it from next link. So a lot of router things going on, which again, I think is good because I want to be able to use more than just Next.js for Payload, which hopefully, if this ever finishes, I'll be able to do that. Probably should have set up this repo before going live, but here we are. At least this migration guide is here because I think this is really helpful to go through. So RSC, templates, and client are all gone. Really interesting there. So this was for anything with a new view. So yeah, so like default minimal template. So I guess they're just lifting that. But if you have any views that are using this, you're going to have to use this new source. Of course, code mods are coming, so I'm not too worried about those migrations. Title, set document title, removed from use document info. Interesting. So this looks like it's for performance. Split out into its own document title context. Okay. Okay. So it's not removed, it's replaced. So that's excellent. Yeah, because everything was just getting stored in use document info, like that hook, but now it has its own hook instead. Okay. Internationalization. They've been working on this, I think, for a little while now. All right, transaction IDs, plugin. Oh, this is longer than I thought. All right, DB adapter types. Just all coming from, so I guess all the types are getting exported from the actual packages themselves. Yep. Declare module to extend database schema. Okay. So minimum supported node version is going to be 24.15.0. I just did this. Okay. Next.js is going to be 16.2.6. I imagine this is all going to increase as we go and get closer. But right now, 16.2.6. This is a big one. If you're still using Slate, that's going to have to stop because that's being removed in version 4. Text converter feature. Oh, okay, that's not what I thought it was. I thought this was the styling. So converter feature in lexical HTML has been removed in favor. These have been deprecated already. So if you're using them in new projects, that's probably a mistake. But older projects will need to update to these new lexical HTML field and convert lexical to HTML functions. So TypeScript, JSON schema, yeah, makes sense. Rename JSON schema. So some more consistency across the project. I really want this to spin up, but I may have to change gears on how this is getting set up. Install complete. Fields to JSON. Okay, more consistency. Naming, modify JSON schema is gone. Generated types, interesting. So again, just more consistency, JSON schema. Duplicate node, register throws. So now there's an error if there's two nodes that already exist. Every block now auto-generates a top level. Oh, great. Yes. Okay. So I love this. So now instead of having to identify or like include an interface name for your blocks, it's done automatically for you, which is perfect because in my course, Payload Essentials, I go through and I add an interface name for every single block. There's only 4 in that course, but it's still like you have to do it a bunch of times. And then you have to generate types and then import. I don't think you have to do import map, but then you have to generate the types and then continue on. But now it's just done for you. So you get that interface right away. Love it. All right, so that's a really good quality of life improvement there. Block fields, block references moves to blocks. This has been relatively annoying. So you've had to do blocks and blocks references or block references in order for this to work and not break because blocks was required. So now blocks just takes references as well. Inline blocks still work as they did before. Generated payload types is different. All right, so this seems to be a big change as well. So generated payload types has changed shape. So it's no longer just this. Come through. I don't know if this is going to require any changes, but it may because types are just they're gonna get better typing, but I think it's gonna have to be a little bit more hands-on typing. So that'll be interesting how that lands. Okay. Jobs depth, run hook, so these were already deprecated. State field return values to be removed. I just need you to go to auto mode. I just need you to figure this out, Claude. Sloppy ranges. I've never seen this. Oh, but cron related. Okay. Oh, great. Yep. So now we have to have a leading asterisk, which always confused me a little bit. Okay, min, max removed from relationship and upload fields. Oh, max rows and min rows, okay. Storage adapters must be declared under storage, not plugins. Oh, interesting. So this moves. There's now, I get that why they're doing this, but that is a big change, moving all of your storage plugins, as we've called them before, plugins, into their own storage array now. Again, code mods coming. So a lot of these, like these are some pretty big breaking changes, but I do think that they're going to be relatively simple just running the code mod. So I'm not too stressed about that. Use facet disabled. Okay. Column group by. Okay, I really like that. I also set this up in my course where you could disable all of these, and I had to do it like, yeah, doing this across all of your sizes is a little annoying. But if you did like a disabled constant at the module level and then just passed it into each of them, that's great. Plugin and search. Why did Docker Desktop open up? Why do you need Docker? You don't need Docker for that. All right. I don't know what Claude's doing right now, but I'm going to let it cook. API keys created before. Okay, cool. Must be regenerated. I never really used API keys in my projects, but if you do, you're going to have to update. There's going to be a create function now. Plugin MCP refactored. Oh, that's big. But it needed to happen. There were some things in there that didn't actually do anything. So very good updates there. Oh, this is a lot though. Oh, okay. That's the end of all of the breaking changes. All right, hopefully this is about to work, but I can go back to our docs. Let's see what else is here, because I want to see about the started use case with big cons. I want to see if it has anything about the framework. Hold on. So dev will boot now. Let's take a look at that. Let's see if that's actually true. Yeah, I want to see if they have anything about the TANstack adapter. Dev isn't booting. For Mongo, I have Mongo installed on my machine. I've never had to use Docker for a Mongo database. All right, access control admin. We already looked at all the breaking changes, so I don't want to go into each of these. Configuration, collections, localization, overview. Build config, yes, okay, let's take a look at what we've got here. Admin, database, collections, compatibility, globals, localization, logger, logging. Okay, so nothing new yet. Compatibility, collection, server URL, editor. I doubt it's going to be under admin. Okay. Nothing there. Configuration. No, it's not going to be anything from that. All right, docs. I can see last week fields, folders, performance, plugins, queries. Let's take a look. I can't search unless I log in. I don't want to log in. Oh boy. All right. So none of these are going to be real environment variables anyway. But also there's no environment variables. Where is this pointed to? So we've got payload. All right, well, let's take a look at databases. So still Postgres, SQLite, MongoDB. I don't see anything new there. And I don't know if there's any support coming for new types of databases coming anytime soon. I know they've looked at convex. I think I saw something about MySQL, MySQL, whatever you want to call it. But I don't think that anything is firm there right now, so none of that looks new. Examples. Oh, docs, examples, fields. Fields had updates. What's in here? Blocks, that makes sense. We already talked about those. I wonder if this is actually like, could the README could that have saved me in this? Let's open the terminal again. Doesn't look like it. I guess I could have been looking through the docs in here too. Oh, which means that I can also tan stack. Here we go. This is what I wanted to see. Can I wrap this? Install MDX plugin, which I thought I already had. All right. Hooks import. Okay, so that's the only mention of tan stack. Interesting. All right. And then of course that there. So let's take a look in our there's a tan stack release branch. And this may tell me what I actually want to know. There's a tan stack start branch. That's what I actually want to be running. How do I do that? All right, let Claude figure that out. Well, I look through here because I really want to see what the config looks like. So if I go to our templates, if I go to blank, I should be able to see. Nope, this is still next. Of course, the templates aren't set up yet. App. Who's working on this? Oh, Copilot. Thought it was just some anonymous user. App docs examples. All right. Still thinking with high effort. That's more than I can give right now. Start version is in the tan stack start package. Okay. 10 stack app source. So interesting. So there's going to be the app, and then so there's 10 stack app. Is there a payload config out here? I see types. I see next config. So types are taken out up a level. Then we have our payload types here. Oh, let's go for that one. Switch in place, because I don't really care about what I just did. All right. Temp. All right, so we got our types, vite config, source. Let's, what else did we have? Tan stack. Oh, feature tan stack adapter. Getting close, getting close. Import map router. Ooh. So this looks really good. Really excited for this. Stack app. All right. We go to payload from here. Got our app, 10 stack app. So of course this isn't going to have anything that I need. Let's look at contributing though, because I have a feeling that this probably could have made my life a little bit easier. To install all required, you have to run once in the root directory. It looks like we're getting close. Claude's doing its Claude thing. This doesn't tell me though. Oh. This would have been nice. So let me... So, okay, let's copy this. Copy. Go ahead and get rid of you. Get you in there. And then probably need a payload secret in here too. Because I don't want to do any of these Docker things. I understand why it's using Docker now. pnpm dev. Where are you trying to get this from? Test community. All right, so let's take a look. We have 3000, and we can do admin. Oh, very good. Okay, we're in. Everybody, we made it. It's time to party. We're in. All right, then I can go to localhost 3000. Oh, I'm using AI too. Like Claude is the one who just got all of this up for me. Now I'm actually trying to like look at what we got here. So admin is rebuild was needed. Okay. All right, so we can just take a look here. So this is dark mode. If I click into this is new as well. Theme is going to be auto. There's light mode as well. Sorry to flashbang everybody. You can set the language. We got our settings, API keys for the MCP. I did reply. I am using AI. What am I doing? Which repo, which directory are you in? Because I want to see how I can do, we got our menu here. So if I can, because right now what's happening is if I go to localhost 3000, it redirects me here, which makes sense. This is a, like it's a payload project. It's not going to give me like my own front end here. I want to see if I can get a front end stood up as well. Is that possible in this repo? So let's take a look at some of the UI stuff that's been happening. So there wasn't anything really, there's nothing in settings really. If I go to my user, I can see the theme for my user. Ooh, enhanced contrast. Let me see what that looks like in light mode. Sorry, everybody. This is very fast. So I'm not used, like the speed once it like starts is usually fine, but here, like this is just so much faster than I think the Next.js app. So this looks good. All right, so nothing there. We got our posts, example post. So I don't know how much of the UI work is already done. So let me switch this. I mean, I'm seeing some of it. So like, obviously this is a bit different. I'm not seeing any like the color changes. Some of the icons have changed. Ooh, that's click and drag now. You can add below. There's still no add above button. So weird to me. So you have to add below and then move up. Let's set this back to dark mode. We got our title. Oh, this is the lexical field. Ooh, so that looks just about the same. There's checklists now. Well, there's always been checklists. This is some rich text. I don't think the actual API has changed. Toast looks nice. I like that. This looks different. I like this. We can set depth to be 0. I don't really care. What scope of front end do you want? Yeah, this is all I really need. Yeah. All right, we're just taking a look. Then I also want to, what else do I want to do? There was something else. Oh. Where is root level payload config that I can look at? Don't know why I'm still typing when I have Raycast for dictation, which has been wonderful. I love using it. Instrumentation, GitHub stars. Yeah, because I don't see the actual config. I see the TanStack app, which I will want to dig into, but I don't see the actual config itself. So we'll come back to that. So we have our array. Here's root children. Yeah, so this looks exactly the same. It is easier to see things. Do I have high contrast still on? Is that what this is? I do. So that's really nice on the eyes, honestly. I'm not sure how much can actually be seen through a screen, but create new media. Let's see what that looks like. Paste URL. We can just use, pick some photos. We'll just do 300 by 300. Add file. Cool. I was hoping for one with some color, but we can save that. Back to media. Let's add another one. Hopefully there's actually some color this time. UTP. Ooh. Pick some photos. And we'll do 1920 by 1080. That's probably going to give us a better one. Yep, there we go. All right, so we can save that. We can preview the sizes that are generated. Edit the image. So all this looks about the same. Ooh, what's this doing? So the focal point isn't quite working right. So I wonder if that's something with sharp going on there. So I can cancel that. Again, API, all of this looks about the same. But if I go to the media collection, we've got some new options in there. We're not going to worry about that. All right, so that's media. We've got our posts, users we've looked at as well. And I'm assuming this is auto logged in. But yeah, so I'm seeing some like, at least it's not like the theme flashing, but there's definitely some flash in transition. So like, I'm sure you guys can see it as I'm going through. Yeah, so that's, I'm sure, got some work to do still. Yeah, like it refreshed or something. Looks like ShadCN, or at least ShadCN like components here. Globals menu. Am I zoomed in all the way? I am. Test. We can save. Claude is still building my front end, which I'm really excited for. Did it tell me where? All right, so test, and we're getting the test, community, config. Build config with defaults. All right, so here, I'm still not finding what I want to find. I'm messing around with Payload's new version 4 that is coming out soon. So it's in the main branch of Payload CMS. So I just cloned the repo. And I'm taking a look through the code to see what's changing, what's coming. So I just went over all of the breaking changes, and now I'm working through a bunch of other stuff here, trying to just get into the config to figure this out. Because what I really want to see, so we have our editor, extend config here. I don't see any other config, but yeah, we get a user and a password. So, and then that auto logs me in, adds a post with some stuff. Type, it's the title field. Okay. I'm from the US. Payload is a headless CMS that is developer first, developer focused. So it is built with like amazing developer experience, like developing, like actually being code first and making it easier for the developers to set up an experience for their marketing team. So It's all TypeScript based, so that makes it very easy for AI, anything, agents, chatbots, whatever, to understand it and build out like full stack apps pretty easily. Yeah, I think that's about all it needs. Right now, it's Next.js native on version 3. That is going away likely in version 4, where it's going to not be framework dependent anymore. So you'll be able to bring your own framework in the future. So that's what I'm working on. And now I'm just trying to like actually understand this project itself. I have a ton of videos on Payload on my channel. Feel free to check it out if you would like to. All right, let's see where Claude got me to. So right now I'm trying to get it spun up with TanStack Start, which is another very type-oriented project. Oh, thank you. I've been working with it for a long time. I hope I have a good explanation for it. I just wasn't expecting to have to answer that today. All right, so there we go. We've got our posts. I really want this to not be in light mode. I haven't heard Mern in a while. But yeah, I'm using Mongo right now with this. And then, of course, React. Where did this file get generated? Oh, TanStack app, that's right. So I'm just going to go in real quick. TanStack app, source, app, root. And so I know this because I've been learning TanStack Start a lot. A lot of my older, projects right now have been TanStack. So a lot of the videos I've been doing recently are TanStack as well. One of these should work. Maybe is it data theme? Oh, wait. There we go. Sorry that everybody had to see a light screen there for a second. All right, so now we have example post. All right. Oh, so here's Payload TSX. Interesting. All right, so this is how Payload is getting built. Very interesting. Okay. So right now, as I said earlier, Payload is built as a Next.js app. So no matter what framework you use on the front end, it is headless CMS, so you can use whatever you want. But the Payload itself, this CMS in version 3, is a Next.js app. What we're seeing here is a TanStack Start app, and that's built here. So it's configured. It's configured in like its own TypeScript file, but then it looks like it's being built here. So there's some CSS stuff I know that is being worked out, so you'll still see some SCSS, but Tailwind is going to be supported as well. But this is the actual Payload project being built. So I think that's really interesting to see here. There's an admin bar too, which tells me then, so there's no admin bar in my homepage. So I can add that, I believe, should be able to add it. Admin bar. I haven't used Flutter or Dart, but as long as Flutter or Dart can consume an API, yes. And I assume that they can. So I can actually show you in the data. So what is being, oh, it all got deleted. That's fine. So all that's being sent is a JSON response. So you would just query it based on whatever your API URL is and then consume it that way. That is a long list of skills. Very good to have, especially in this era of AI. Because having those skills means that you're able to actually effectively guide your AI assistant in what you want it to do. So CMS URL, I feel like, is there like a user? I feel like I'm not passing in the user here. So if I go, this may be a little bit Next.js-ish, but let's take a look. So we have our loader. Then let's get our user await. I don't have await. Oh, Lord. Okay, so let's take a look. Yeah, I haven't built anything like to SaaS application-y or like mobile app or anything, but I do know that Payload is used for more than just like content management here. Like one project that I have in mind, just as like a teaching thing, is I want to build a job board, which is just an application, but it has content that can be served via the API. And so that's what we're getting here. All right, so I don't know if this is actually the best way to do this, but this is what we're going to do. We're going to copy this. And then we're going to find our user by ID. So get user by ID. So now you can actually see how the API is queried. Get server, it's get by default, so I can get rid of that. Export. All right, so we're gonna have some type errors doing this, but that's okay. User. So we're going to import from our types. Again, this is the type safety that I'm talking about. User. Okay, that looks good. Oh, interesting. Problem is, I'm just trying to get one user, so that makes sense there. Get payload. I wonder why this is throwing an error then. I don't really care. So right now it's serving, and that's all that really matters. Let's take a look. We got our collection users. We're gonna find by ID. And then user. Don't need that. Do need my ID though, which I don't actually know what it is. So hopefully this doesn't break things, and of course it does. So let's go ahead and just comment that out so I can get in to my users. And so normally I wouldn't go in here and get the actual ID itself. I would probably query by the email, but this is just easier for now. All right, so now I should be able to come to my index, get my user by awaiting, get user by ID. So then we can pass that information down here as our user. This should be done in the layout though. So let me undo all that. So let's go back to our root. Do we have a loader? There's no loader. All right, so we can do a loader. Then it's going to be an async function where I'm going to just return our user, which is going to await get user by ID. And then in the body, let's try that admin bar again. I'm going to pass in the user props here in a second. So if I do constant of user equals So I wonder also then, it would need to be done in, I need to get authenticated user. So constant of user, get user by ID, then payload. All right, so actually we need not get user by ID, we need get authenticated user. So let's just wait a second. So we're gonna get auth user. I'm gonna create a server function, export that constant. Okay, yes, thank you, AI assistant. Get payload. Oh, wait, I don't know if this is how this is actually going to work once things get settled, but this is how it's working right now. Auth user equals await payload auth. What do you need? Auth args. That's unhelpful. All right, let's ask AI, because I forgot how to do this. Or, better yet, let's go to our payload CMS, payload auth. Is this my video? It's not. All right. Payload auth. Okay, that's right. I need to get headers. I see that, but I do think I don't allow URLs to be sent in my chats just for safety. Rather trying to turn off the inline. I normally do. I don't actually know why my inline AI suggestions are on because they just get in the way. And especially when I'm like trying to show something off or teach something and it's just giving me completely wrong things, like unhelpful. All right, so now I need to look at TanStack because we need our headers. And it appears that that's going to be get, is that from router then? Server, okay. Import get request headers. I guess I'm going to type this out. TanStack React start server. So now if I come back here, get our config, await get request headers. Is this not? All right, so I don't need the await there. Good, then we can pass in our headers. Then I can return that. Oh, right. What is this actually returning? Let's go ahead and get rid of this type resolution. That is hard to say. Right now I'm just messing around with what we have here. This is all just how Payload and TanStack work together. All right, so now if I do user, instead of that, let's do get auth user. Did I say posts? It shouldn't. All right, so we have our auth user. Passed in our headers, come over here. Not looking at the config, root. All right. Index. I don't know what that means. Okay. Interesting. All right, so might have to resort back to Claude on this one. Let's just check this out first. So we're going to get our user and then posts just from user. I know email exists. Oh, okay, so we can do promise auth result. Oh, this is going to be a server function. I don't have my server logs running. I read the documentation as I need it. So I'm going to just start building with whatever framework I'm using. And then if I run into any issues, I'll start doing some research, which I'm kind of running into issues right now. User email. Oh, that's what I just put in there. Can I log user? Getting a 500 error. Yeah, right now it is, anytime something new comes out, I'm looking at the documentation first. Anything like that's very new is unlikely to get accurate responses from AI, so I want to be able to like be up on it. But like I'm not going to go in and just read change logs. I do read change logs, but I do review documentation before I try to parse it with like AI, trying to figure that out. Let me look at the current. All right, so I'm trying to figure out this 500 error because I don't actually know what I broke. It could be something with our server function. Let's close some of this stuff while I'm here. Because, or is it maybe the admin bar that broke things? Let's go over to root. Funny enough, I don't watch much YouTube. So I'm like written documentation. But then I take what I learn and I turn it into YouTube videos, which I find very helpful. I don't understand the what's your majors question. What do you mean? All right, well, I figured that out. All right, so response headers, permissions, user. All right, so the user is in there. That's perfect. All right, payload, config, post, index. All right, so I'm still not getting anything here. No email. But I am getting, oh, so I need, from my user, I need the user, which means, can I do then res user? Didn't think so. So what I need then is from user There we go. So now I've got my user. Junior Mern Stack, any advice? So I'm an actual software engineer now. I haven't always been an actual software engineer. If you're not learning how to effectively use AI in your coding, and I'm not saying just to like offload your brain into Claude or to Codex or whatever, you need to start learning how to effectively use AI in your coding. So I don't think that learning to code is obsolete. I think people still need to learn how to code. I think they still need to understand how architecture works and how computers work. There's a saying in art that you learn the rules so you know when to break them. And I think we're starting to see that also in code. So understanding how things work together, understanding how architecture comes together, which I'm still learning, you are going to need to understand those fundamentals in order to communicate with developers, because career developers are still career developers, and then also be able to communicate with your AI in those terms. Beyond that, you need to be able to think through this in the way customers think through it. I think there's going to be an evolution in how developers actually develop, where it's not going to be necessarily a Jira ticket coming in. It's going to be talking to a customer and understanding what they need and then implementing that need. So it's going to be about developing your own pipeline of features based on actual client feedback. So I think those are skills to be developed right now. Let's see, any freelancing jobs available? That is hard to say. Upwork is a good was a good place back when I started freelancing like 7 years ago. I don't know if Upwork is still a good place. I have found jobs on Reddit before, just posting on Reddit saying that I would design somebody's website to get some reps in. Let's see, freelance. That's about it. And then getting connections. So referrals are really hard to get, but they are very nice. Let's see. I'm still building the mind and the flow for coding. Yeah, I am too. Just practice, reps. I don't think you ever arrive. I think that's true for most trades. If you're brave enough, you can do what I do. Do some live coding. You'll learn very fast, and people will actually help. Today I was doing some videos. Yeah, I will refrain from saying anything else on your point there. I assume Ali, sorry. I can't see your project, sorry. All right, so let's go back to code. All right, so I am still seeing, so I have my authenticated user, which is very nice to see. I'm just doing that through server functions. So I have, obviously I wouldn't want, well, actually it's just sending permissions. It's not really sending anything valuable. I mean, probably you don't want to keep this, you don't want to keep this logged, but this is getting me what I need. All right, so now if I go back here, is this going to work? Yep. Can I add? So tan stack start and payload looking very good. So back over in our posts functions, which this is no longer just posts, we're going to export our constant, get header. We're going to create a server function. This is not going to be a post. This is just going to be a global, which is going to be called menu from our payload types. And then we will initialize. So the AI stuff is helping for some of this because I am not super familiar with this dynamic import stuff or static import. I don't know. All right, then we got that constant payload. No, I already have payload. So then I want my header by waiting payload, find global. Then we'll get our global of menu. That should be all we need. Then I know it's unused. I just used it. So then I can return that. come over to our root. Above our body, we'll add a nav. The nav, well, we need to get this from our loader. So I do need a loader here. I knew it. Loader, this is going to be async. We're going to await get header. I think that's all I need. Then we can, need to return header. Route, use loader data. Perfect. So then we have our nav. I'm just going to header man, the type is supposed to be inferred. Get header. All right. All right, then we see our test up there. Now if I go in here, test, we should see that pop up here. So yeah, that flash is not stellar, but this is the development experience on an alpha product, so I'm not too worried about that. So we get our example post there, and then we could do, is there a slug on that? Let's take a look. So posts, example post, there is no slug. So let's go ahead and get the API, because I'm gonna wanna get the ID. So if I go back to our post functions, let me take a look at this question. I'm building with Payload CMS, but I noticed in my admin page I'm not able to access more than 10 variant options in the field, and I can't seem to fix it. What would you suggest? Can you tell me more about what you mean by variant options? Is it like a relationship field? Is it like a select field? Is it a field in general? Media that you're trying to select? Like, what do you mean by variant options? Because that could be a couple of things, but we'll come back to that in a second. Let me know. What am I looking at? Where did my... Oh, this is right. Okay. I'm in the right place. All right, so what have we got? Right, so now I'm going to... Oh, I already have what I need here. So let's create in here a new file that's going to be our posts. We're going to do post ID, tsx. Did that just delete everything? It did not. Okay. So now if I go to posts 1, so we get post ID. Now I can const params. Nope. No, that's right. Use import from, I believe it's TanStack router. Yep, use params. Then it's going to be from post ID. Then I can actually just drop in the params here. I thought. It's always something. Params. Undefined from posts, post ID. Should be right. Still undefined. Okay. I wonder if maybe it's not supposed to be. Yep, okay. Post ID. Perfect. So now with that, I can yeah, so I added about 20 colors to my color variant, but whenever I'm in product data, I'm only able to see 10 out of the colors I added to the color variant. Oh, that's for e-commerce. Hold on. So in your relationship field, which I believe is what a variant is in this case, there should be value. You may have to scroll down for it to continue to load. But if I'm honest, I've only done like maybe 2 things with the e-commerce. So try, I assume that like it's a drop down. You can try setting its appearance to be a drawer instead of select, which should give you more options. So go ahead and try that and let me know. But I don't remember if there's a way to like set the number of fields returned. It's just supposed to automatically, as you scroll, show more variants. If it's a join field, which it may be, join field, that one, so if it looks like this, where it's like a table, which I know is also used in the e-commerce, there's a way to set, like, so first of all, it should be paginated. You should be able to page through it, but you can set the default limit to be 0 to return all related documents, or you can set it to whatever number you want. So hopefully that helps. All right, export constant. I want to do just post. Oh wait. Create, man. Create. Okay, so it's not there. It must be React router server. This is letting me down hard. All right. So definitely don't need, also it's gonna be a promise, export, async, promise of just a single post. So let's actually just copy this post. Is that not the right place? Where's this from then? React start. Ah. All right, so I don't need user, I do need post though. So single post, we're gonna get find by ID, and we'll get a single post. Don't need a depth. don't need this. We're just going to return that. Our ID is going to be our post ID, which we need to pass in here. Type. What is going on here? All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. Promise of post. We have our ID, which says it's not able to type string or number. Okay, so let's convert it to string then. Okay, so that works. All right, so now we can do our loader. That's incorrect. Loader, we do need our async. We're going to await. Going to return await post. Oh wait, no. I think I can just do use. I think it still needs to be in our loader though. What? All right, let's take a look at what we get. Post, then we can do post. All right, so I need to get the post ID up here. So I need loader. I haven't done this a whole lot. What can I return here? Okay, I don't know if that's actually right, but we're going to try it out. We're going to do an async function. Oh wait, that needs to receive the post ID or params. Or do I even need this then? So this is where my lack of understanding of TANStack is going to play a part. Return, we want to set our post to await, use, I don't need to use server function here. I should just be able to do await post, params, post ID. And then I should be able to get our post, use loader. That's on the route. That's why that didn't load. And then post ID should work. All right. So maybe this does need to be. Dang, man. All right. All right, Claude. Tagging you in. I don't think my loader data is correct for the post route I'm on now. So I'll get this working, and then I think it's time to wind this down. I've had barely any water. Let's take a look over here. All right. Apparently I just got opted into some new Gemini features that I'll never use. All right. This needs to be just validator. All right, Claude is sure taking its time. Probably could have used an easier model than this, or at least a lighter model. G-string, so the validation is nice. Oh, ABC is not a thing. All right, so that's part of the problem. Let's go over to our posts, open our post, look at our ID, grab that, come over here. There we go. So we have our example post, good, which comes with our ID, also good. Nope, this is working. It's fine, Claude, we got it working. So, I mean, this is still a type error, but I'm not too worried about it because we've got stuff coming up here. That's where I want to be right now. So the last thing I want to do before calling it quits is over here. Let's make that clickable. So we'll go to our index instead of this just being a list element. Let's wrap it in a link. I didn't know there was a time element. Today I learned. So we'll do a link from, let's make sure that came from TanStack. It did. TanStack start, we will link to, and this is to because we have, we do, okay, so we have type safety here. So I'm able to link to that and then pass in for our params, our post ID, which I believe I need to do. Man, that broke everything. Post ID. There we go. So now should be right. Oh, maybe it's because this JS got added. There we go. All right, so that works just fine. I still don't know why this type error is here. Does not exist in type. Why is this type error here? Take a look at that real quick. And then while that's happening, let's actually move it up. No, it's fine. And the one thing I like about Payload is that everything has an ID, so it's really easy to key any array because every array item has a key. Wonderful, makes life way easier. Well, it works, so that's good. But if I do... style, not steep. Style, we'll just say display block. Which makes at least more of it clickable, which is all that matters. All right, the route is registered. Okay. So it's just, it seems like it's a type error that's deeper down because I can just click on this and I see the example post. I think that's all that really matters. I don't know why it's so small though. Like it's just taking styles from, what happens if I set style? We can just do font size larger. 8 rem. Okay, that's a little much. 2. Then we can do just a margin bottom of another 2 rem. And then we get our ID there, and that's fine. Cool. So does that get rid of our type error? Error? All right, doesn't really matter to me. All right, so really cool stuff that we're seeing so far from Payload. So just to summarize what we've done, we have our authenticated user showing on the front end. We have an example post rendered with a link to that post using the ID, using tanstack start, not next. And better yet, this is only using one development server, so it's tanstack start and payload together, just like it would be for payload and Next.js together. So very well intertwined. Yes, there's some flashing, there's some stuff that's still in the works, but everything to me looks really good. The new design system is looking good. It's coming together. A lot of the breaking changes make sense. It's not like they're just breaking stuff to break stuff. But yeah, I'm feeling really good about the direction of Payload and how that's going. But I do need to call it quits for the night. It's been, what, an hour and a half-ish. So that's plenty of talking from me. I've got other stuff to do. I don't do this full time. So I'm here to hang out, but got other stuff to do. So hopefully you found this helpful or at least a little bit interesting. I have a course if you want to learn more about Payload and how to use it fully. I did mention this earlier. It's called Payload Essentials. You can get it at nlvcodes.com/Payload Essentials. I've got a couple more coming out, both Tanstack related and one being Tanstack and Payload related. So be on the lookout for those as well. I have a newsletter, comes out every Friday, Next in Dev. Link to that is in the description. Anytime that you want to know all about the all the news happening across the web dev industry, that newsletter is going to have what you need. Then you can just follow me on X, Twitter, whatever, NL Vogel. You can find me on Twitter. All of that is in the description as well. I'll be streaming again on Monday. I will likely go back to what I was working on before, which was just a weather app for learning Tanstack Start. So that will be next Monday, and then likely again next Wednesday. We'll see what happens. So this was fun. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you thought it was interesting. Even if you didn't, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.